Applying for too many credit cards at once can kill your credit score, kill the relationship that you have with your current banks, and damage you a lot more than what you think. In this video, we're going to be going over what you should be doing as far as applying for credit and the best practices for when it's time for you to actually start applying for credit. If you don't know who I am, my name is Kenny Johnson. I operate a credit repair company here in Montreal, Quebec, but we service Canadians across the country. And if you are currently a Canadian that's dealing with credit issues, you can send us an email at info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com, or you can call us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, and you can call us at 438-803-1002. So let's go ahead and jump into the topic. One of the most common issues I see with consumers when they're shopping the market trying to get credit is that they're going from bank to bank to bank, applying, trying to get approved. Now, if you are confident in your credit profile and if you're confident in your relationship with the banks that you're currently using, then it's okay for you to go ahead and start applying for credit. But it's a problem when you're starting to go out to other banks that you may not even have a relationship with yet, and you're applying with them as well. And so what a lot of times will happen is we'll submit that first application, and then we get a little bit nervous about if we're actually going to get approved or not. And we'll say, hey, you know what? I just submitted an application with CIBC. Let me go over with BMO and see if I can get approved as well. Well, once you start this trend, then it's kind of it's kind of like an addiction. You start with CIBC, then you go to BMO, and the next thing you know, you're applying with TD, and then next thing you know, you look up, you submit an application with Amex, and now you probably have somewhere between 5 to 6 applications that you submitted in one day. And while it seems like nothing initially, a month from that point, you're going to have a huge issue on your credit report. Now, the most immediate impact that most people notice is the credit score drop. Well, that's because each inquiry can lower your credit score up to 5 points. So let's just say we have 10 inquiries that have popped up, 10 new inquiries that have popped up. That's at least 50 points that your credit score has now dropped. Now, while 50 points may not sound like a lot, it could be the difference between you being able to get approved for a mortgage, an auto loan, a credit card, to you not being able to get approved for those products, right? So we want to ensure that we're constantly monitoring how many items we're applying for and where we currently sit with our credit score. So for example, you could have a 700 credit score, but if you drop 50 points, now you're at a 650 and you're no longer eligible for a lot of those products that you were once eligible for. So we have to be very cognizant of what we're applying for and when we're applying for these products. If we're going to apply, let's have a strategy in place. I'm going to give you a very smart plan that you can implement today so that you can start applying and getting the most out of your credit. The most important thing, or the first thing you want to focus on, is ensuring that your credit score is at least above a 720. And this is my conservative approach. You can start getting approved for credit with a credit score as low as a 650. Now, while this is true, this is very risky because, again, as soon as you initiate that inquiry onto your credit profile, you now drop down from that 650. So where we want to be is at 720 across both credit bureaus, that's Equifax and TransUnion. Now that we're at a 720, next we want to check and make sure we don't have any derogatory accounts on our credit report. What do I mean by derogatory accounts? If we have any collection accounts, if we have any judgments, if we have any consumer proposals, if we have any bankruptcies, even if you have any late payments, these are things that you need to address first before you step out into the market and start applying. Now, the reason why we want to address these things is because once you submit that application, the bank can let you know that you've been denied. And when you give them a call and ask why you've been denied, they can easily lean on the fact that maybe you had two late payments with the credit card that you had in the past, right? So we want to remove all excuses that the bank can use to deny our application. Now, once we've gone through that process, we make sure that we're above a 720. We've gone through our credit report and ensured that we don't have any derogatory accounts on our credit report. Then we can go to the current credit cards that we currently have and request a credit limit increase. A lot of the top 5 banks here in Canada, a lot of the banks, not even the top 5 banks in Canada, they will let you do a credit limit increase without you having to submit an inquiry. This is extremely beneficial. You could go ahead and get the extra funding without you having to submit an extra inquiry. Now, and as an asterisk, I highly recommend before you request a credit limit increase, you contact your bank and you ask them is it going to hit you as an inquiry just to be safe? But most banks will not hit you with an inquiry. So for example, I know that I can go to CIBC, request a credit limit increase, and then that's not going to hit me with a hard inquiry. Now, again, things with banks change all the time, but the time that I'm making this video, this holds true. Now, what you want to do is we want to wait every 6 months. We're not calling our bank every day requesting a credit limit increase. Let's not be silly, but we're spacing this out. We're being strategic, right? Because the reason why we're waiting 6 months is this isn't just a date that I made up. What's happening is the banks are doing a soft pull every single month. Every single month, they're doing a soft pull on your credit report and they're asking, hey, can Bob be eligible for XYZ? They're trying to see if they can offer you products because if they can, then they can come back and make money off of you. Now, that sounds kind of capitalist, but that's just the nature of the business. They want to be able to offer you products so that you can use those products, use interest, pay interest, and then the bank becomes more profitable and you create a stronger relationship with said bank. Now, obviously, if you've been watching my videos, we don't want to pay any interest. We always want to pay our debt off in full. But if you're looking for capital, this is a great way. Request a credit limit increase every single month. Now, if, I'm sorry, not every single month, every 6 months. Now, if you're in the process of trying to create a new relationship with a new bank, let's say I currently bank with CIBC and I want to start an application with TD, I'm going to ensure that I go through my inquiry section on my credit report and make sure there hasn't been any new inquiry within the past 6 months. This 6 month methodology is the same reason why we're requesting a credit limit increase every 6 months. Because again, these banks work in 6 months increments when they're doing a financial analysis. So if I'm going to go create a new relationship with a new bank or apply for a new product that I know is going to hit as an inquiry, I'm going to ensure that I haven't had any inquiries within the past 6 months. So I've contacted all my banks every 6 months and I've requested a credit limit increase. And then I've branched out and created a new relationship and contacted maybe one or two banks that one pulls from Equifax, one pulls from TransUnion, and then I've submitted an inquiry. So maybe I have an increase on my credit card. Let's say I have 5 credit cards, and I ask for an additional increase of 1,000. That's $5,000 there, and then I've opened up two accounts with TD, one with BMO, and they both giving me 5,000. That's 10,000 there. So we're looking at $15,000 in total. I did all of that with just submitting one inquiry. Now you may say, how is that just one inquiry? Because one bank may pull from TransUnion and the other bank may pull from Equifax. Again, it's a strategy and there's a method behind what you're doing, but you need to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. But we're not just going out and applying for a bunch of different products. So this is the smartest way to go out and get capital, to raise capital. It's something you can do if you're a small business owner, if you're just a consumer looking to raise capital. Now you may ask, Kenny, how much credit should I be trying to get? There's no reason. I don't want to encourage you to go out and try to go get 6 figures in credit, but it's possible for a lot of people to do so. Now, with one credit card, it shouldn't be difficult for you to get 30% of your income. What do I mean by that? If you have an income of $100,000 and I have a CIBC credit card, as long as they understand that all of my debt is paid off, I'm not carrying any debt, I have an income of $100,000, there's no reason why I can't get a $30,000 credit card with CIBC. Now, am I going to get all of that at once? Most likely not. What's going to happen is maybe they start you out because it's a relationship. They need to know that they can trust you. Maybe they start me out with $5,000, but then what's going to happen is over time, I'm working that limit up every 6 months. And in between those 6 months, I'm also showing CIBC that I can be responsible with credit, paying my credit cards off in full every single month, keeping my utilization below 10%, not adding any late payments to my credit profile, always making on-time payments. These are the things that you need to do. But you could take a $5,000 credit card from the start and grow it to a $30,000 credit card. And guess what? You could repeat that process with other banks as you further establishing your relationship with these banks. If you need help with your credit, maybe you have collections and you're in that process that I discussed earlier, where you have derogatory accounts on your credit report, my company is here to assist you. We have a team that's more than happy to help you out. You can send us an email, info@kennyjohnsonuniversity.com. You can give us a call Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, 438-803-1002. And if you like this video and you want me to make more videos, you can go ahead and like, leave a comment. And until next time, peace.